My wife doesn't love me anymore. She doesn't care about me. She doesn't think about me. Basically, there is no love in her heart for me. There was a time we had an amazing marriage. There was so much of love. There was so much of care. There was so much of understanding. But something has changed. Today, when I look at my wife, it feels that there's no connection that she feels towards me. What should I do? If you are in this situation, then you must continue to watch this video. Hi, Coach Val here. I help men who are together to have a great marriage. I help men who are separated to come back and create that amazing connection once again. I help men who are going through a divorce process or even already divorced, who have the greatest intention and the desire to have a great marriage. I help them to create that connection once again. Before I jump into the session and talk about these 5 things about answering the simplest question of why my wife doesn't love me anymore, what should I do? I'm going to touch upon or going to go into in depth, talking about these 5 things. The first thing I'm going to talk about is why she not loving you is normal. The second thing is why should you stop being a victim if you want her to love you again. The third thing is why you shouldn't fix this particular problem. The fourth one is why you shouldn't listen to her words. And the fifth one is your present defines your future. I'm going to dive deep into this. But before I do that, quick disclaimer, as always, this particular video and all the videos that I put up is not for you if you have a closed mindset. There are 2 types of mindset, closed mindset and growth mindset. Closed mindset is of somebody who feels that he knows everything about his marriage, why his wife has left him, why there is no love, there is no connection, why she doesn't love him. He knows everything and he's not willing to learn. He just wants to prove his point, and that's why he's on YouTube looking for answers to prove his point. So if you're that kind of a person, this video is not for you. But if you're somebody who has an open mindset and you want to learn relationship science, you want to understand in a scientific manner what happened in your marriage, and you have the greatest desire to bring back love and you're willing to do whatever it takes, then continue to watch this video. So the first thing that I was talking about is, let me just fold all these nodes. So just let me fold this. So the first thing I was talking about, that your wife not loving you is normal. So let me explain this. So why is it normal? Because your marriage is supposed to go through 3 stages. The first stage of your marriage is romance stage. The second stage of your marriage is power struggle stage. And the third stage of your marriage is mature love, or you become each other's best friends. If you attend one of my master classes, I'm going to teach you this in depth. It's a live master class. I'll give you the link a little later. But for now, let's understand the first 2 stages. So romance stage, everybody knows about it. Some men tell me that in my marriage, there was no romance stage. Then I asked them, did you at least for one day before marriage, you thought about this person? You felt really good. There were a lot of positive thoughts you had. Now that was romance stage. Now the interesting part is that no matter who we get married, no matter how many times we get married, whether it is a love marriage, arranged marriage, intercaste marriage, marriage between 2 people whose horoscope didn't match or match, it really doesn't matter. All the combination, it really doesn't matter. The romance stage is supposed to end. And when the romance stage ends, there is a new stage that starts. It's called a power struggle stage. According to research, the power struggle stage starts somewhere between 2 months to 2 years of the marriage. Most people don't even realize that they've got into power struggle stage because most marriages get stuck here. So when we get into power struggle stage, it is obvious for us to not love the other person. We might say, I love my partner, but all our behaviors demonstrate that we don't love the other person. Why we don't love the other person is because we don't feel loved by the other person. So at this stage, your wife is going to say that I don't love you anymore. I don't love you anymore. And that's natural. It's like, and we see this even in nature. If you if you look at nature, okay, if you look at nature, you take a rose plant, you find it in somebody's house, you cut the branch, you ask them to give you a branch, you bring it to the house and you plant it there. In the first 2 days, the leaves are going to wither. The same with our marriage. We are cut from some place, or we two different individuals, we come together. And the first thing that's going to happen is the leaves that were there, that the leaves that came up during the romance stage are going to wither. And that's normal. So the first thing that I want you to understand is not to get panicked when your wife says she doesn't love you anymore. Now, what you do when this happens, when your wife says, or when you feel that your wife doesn't love you anymore, what you do at that moment defines how your future is going to be. It's going to define whether you will go round and round and round at power struggle stage and finally end up with a divorce or a separation, or it will define how you will move from power struggle to mature love stage. Okay, so that's the first thing, that it is normal. The second thing that I want you to understand about your wife not loving you anymore is, when this happens at power struggle stage, the biggest mistake we do is we start feeling like a victim. We start feeling like a victim. So what do I mean by victim? It means that you and your wife, both of you, feel that you are the most amazing person. There are times the men tell me that, no, I know all my mistakes. But at the end of the day, when they start talking about everything about their marriage, they don't realize that they're only talking about their wife's mistake. They're not talking about themselves. So when we get into power struggle stage, your wife thinks like a victim. And what happens to you is you also start thinking like a victim. You start saying to yourself, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm loving, I'm working, I'm spending 17 hours at the office, I'm giving her the best life possible, I'm doing everything for her. But she doesn't want to understand. She doesn't love me anymore. She doesn't care about me. She doesn't think about me. Now, these very thoughts you have are detrimental for your marriage. What they will do is, when you start thinking this way, you will start behaving in alignment with these thoughts. When you start behaving in alignment with these thoughts, your wife will start thinking in the same way you are thinking. And she will start behaving in alignment with the same thoughts. At the end of the day, you start behaving in an unloving manner because you think that you are a victim. So the second thing to do when your wife says that she doesn't love you anymore, don't get into a victim mindset and start telling yourself, oh, I'm doing so much. That's the most dangerous thought that can keep you stuck at power struggle stage. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing is, let's come here. The third thing is, don't try to fix her not feeling loved, or she telling you that she doesn't love you anymore. Don't try to fix it. And there are two ways we men try to fix this. One, by making promises. Telling your wife that, no, tomorrow onwards I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'll learn this, I'll do that. Making promises. You're trying to fix it. And the second thing is, you're trying to fix it through logic. You might be telling your wife that, why are you feeling this way? You shouldn't be feeling this way. Why don't you understand? We are married for 3 years. The romance is supposed to die, and you're giving amazing logic to your wife to tell her why she shouldn't feel that very way, that particular way. But by doing that, you're convincing her that why she shouldn't feel loved anymore. You're convincing her. And why am I saying that? Because love is basically means the other person feeling these 5 things. It's about feeling, not about what I do. What I generally talk about is, it's not about, it really doesn't matter whether you love your wife. The question is, does she feel loved? And in order for her to feel loved, she has to feel these 5 things from you. One is, she matters to you. She needs to feel that she matters to you. The second thing is, you are there for her. The third thing is, you think that she is good. you think that she is right, and finally you think that she's an amazing person. That's what she needs to feel. Okay, so when you start fixing, giving her advice, telling her why she shouldn't feel this way, and I understand, I totally get it, that it comes out of your anxiety. Oh God, if she doesn't feel loved by me, what's going to happen? We're just married for 2 years, we are married for 3 years, we got a tiny kid. Your panic leads to this, you telling her, and that only worsens the situation. So don't try to fix this. Then what do? And that's where we come into the fourth one, that is, don't listen to words. Don't listen to words. Don't listen to what she's saying. In other words, many a times we listen to the words and we think that, oh, this is what she's saying. She's saying that she doesn't want to be with my mom, okay, and I don't love her because we are not making a separate house. That's what she thinks. That's what you think. Because you're listening to what she is saying. She's keep complaining about your mother, and you think that I need to fix that. And you are in a place where you cannot have a separate house. You can't take your wife away from your mother. And even if you do that, if you have not got out of the power struggle stage, today you are fighting about your mother. Tomorrow you'll be fighting about something else. The only thing that has changed is when you moved out of that house is the topic for your fights. So what I'm talking about here is don't listen to the words. Instead of that, ask yourself, what is hurting her? What's hurting her? What is it that you're doing or not doing is making her feel unloved, making her feel that she doesn't matter, making her feel that you're not there for her, making her feel that she's not good, she's not right, she's not a wonderful human being. What's that you're doing? And it takes a lot of learning to do this, to understand, to look at the world from the other person's, from our wife's perspective. Why is it so difficult? Because our brain is wired to hide our actions. It is just wired. So when I work with men, there are hundreds of men who are there, part of this amazing community called Awesome Husbands Hub. So when we are working on each other, when we are helping each other, when I'm coaching them, one of the things I realize is if a man finally comes to a conclusion, what action of his has led to this problem, this disconnection, this separation, this divorce, and she feeling not loved, that person has arrived. Then things become easy for him, because our brain generally hides some mistakes, and that's why we are not able to fix it. Okay, so when you start learning relationship science, you will be able to understand what is hurting her. And once you understand that, you got to reciprocate to what is hurting her rather than what she is saying. And also, I'm going to reiterate this: don't try to fix the problems. Don't try to fix what she is saying. Don't try to give solutions. And that leads us to the last point. And the last point is, your present defines your future. Your present defines your future. So feeling loved or loving is an experience. Okay, only the people who feel loved are able to love the other person. So your goal, when your wife says that when you feel that your wife doesn't love you anymore, instead of trying to make your wife love you, you got to learn to love your wife. The most important word out here is learn. So in this particular situation, when you feel that your wife doesn't love you, don't try to make your wife love you. Okay, instead of that, use that particular opportunity to love your wife. Make your wife make your wife feel loved. And when you make your wife feel loved, look at the words that I'm using. Making your wife feel loved, she is going to reciprocate. There are so many men that I'm working with. The whole journey is you have to forget about your wife loving you. All that you have to focus on is, how do I make my wife feel loved? And in order for that, how can I learn things about relationship science, about communication, about connecting, about her personality type. How can I learn things? So if you're interested in learning these things, and if you want to grow, if you want to bring that amazing connection that you once had, and if you want to make your wife fall in love with you once again, then I invite you for a very special masterclass that I do. It's a live masterclass. All that you have to do is go to coachval.co. You'll see it, see the link here, coachval.co. Go there and sign up for this masterclass. Okay, it's a 90 minutes live masterclass where I'm going to break down the whole system of bringing back love after the power struggle stage. So that's all from my side. If you have learned something from here, just write in the comment section, what's the one thing that you have learned? What's the one thing that you have learned about bringing back love? And finally, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead, click that like button, go ahead, click that bell icon so that you get the notification every time I do I put up a video. Every week I put up a video, so you get the notification. And finally, continue to watch the videos. At the end of this video, there are a couple of more videos coming up. Choose the one you really like and continue to watch it. So I'll see you in the next video or in the live masterclass that you're going to attend. Until we connect again, as always, keep your love story alive. Bye-bye.